Mr. Tonka here. Got a little bit of a hair helmet going on. But anyhow, a few people have asked about the pulley system I use to store some of my bikes. So I figured I'd do a quick overview of them. I'd throw out a few points to consider before buying one, along with some installation tips should you actually buy one. So hope you enjoy the video. So you can buy these pulley systems on Amazon, and I'm pretty sure you could probably find them at your local bike shops too. I came across two different types, basically the heavy duty types and the standard version. Heavy duty, I think, generally runs to hold about 70 pounds, and the standard, I think they say holds about 40 pounds. I originally got the heavy duty version to hold up my Specialized Enduro Evo, which tipped the scales at almost 40 pounds. And even though my current mountain bike sits on the heavy duty version, I would not have a problem putting it on the standard version. So there are some space considerations to think about before you get one of these. And the height of your ceiling pretty much plays a large role in how you'll hang it if you have one of these systems, or if one of these systems will even be useful for you. So if your ceiling's really low and you can't walk under this like I can just walk straight under it. I'm about 5 inches away from my head, the bottom of the tire is. If your ceiling's much lower than mine, which I think is about 10 or 11 feet in here, you'll want to run the pulley system so that the bike sits parallel to the wall, so that you don't have to walk under it. So I used to hang my mountain bike on this hook here and from the back tire, and I used to let it just kind of sit against the wall here. But you can see the height of it is kind of low, and my problem is that I keep the ladders and stuff around here. I'd go to pick up a ladder and walk by it and hook the bars, which is pretty low. I mean, the bars are only about 5 inches above my head. Or I'd hit the tire with something and things would always hang up on it. I'd catch that ladder on there and almost bust my ass and pull the bike down. So I thought the pulley system would be a better idea than this thing, because I just didn't like how it stuck out into the room. You can see that it sticks out a fair amount from the wall. Now you can see here that I mounted these wooden slats onto the trusses that are above the drywall or the finished ceiling, and I did this for two reasons. One, because the mounting systems I'm running them along the trusses, and you can see here, if I can zoom in some, you can see that mounting plate, the screw holes on the side are wider than the trusses, so that didn't really work. Now if you look real close, you can see that there are some screw holes in the center, and I used a couple of them, but I just, not using the system before or not being familiar with it, I just didn't trust it by just putting the screws in the center. Plus I thought, and it did, once you put a screw in the center, you kind of deform the plate a little bit by pulling the center of the plate down. I think the other reason that I did that is because I just generally tend to over-engineer everything. But if your trusses run the same way mine do, which is the direction of these wood slats are in, and you want to hang the bike crossways or parallel to the wall here, and hang it up against the wall if your ceiling's too low, then you can just take one of these wooden slats and screw it to the trusses, and then you'll be good to go. That's the way I actually did this first one. You can see there are holes at the end of it that are, and probably somewhere in the middle of it where I had it screwed into the trusses going sideways first. That was before we got many more bikes to hang up. That's something I should show you. These hooks are not all that fantastic. They come with these little rubber dealies on them, but they come off so easily. They move back and forth really easily. And this bend here, I don't even remember if it was really a bend. I think it was more like a 90-degree angle. But I remember having to adjust them to kind of fit everything a little bit better. Here you can see this just sliding off. They don't really grab underneath the seat very well. They do move back in and out, you know, so you could like straddle like that bag. You can put it on both sides of the bag, no problem. Or like for this one, I actually put them together and go right in the center of the seat. So they're not perfect, but that's definitely an easy workaround as long as you're conscientious when you're putting these things on, if you don't need your feet or worried about your bars getting scratched or whatever. Well, that's about it. They function really well. They go up and down very easily. And they do a good job at keeping my bikes out of the way of everyday life here in the garage. I hope there was a useful nugget of information in here for you. Thanks for watching.